Today's video is about the link between butterfly effect, 100 monkey effect, and quantum entanglement. So what is the butterfly effect? It is an explanation of a very small occurrence which can unimaginably effect a big change from just a simple decision or event which may seem unconnected but yet interconnected without a good reason. Butterfly effect is the notion of a butterfly flapping its wings and causing a tornado somewhere far away. This was coined by mathematician and meteorologist Edward Norton Lorentz. The butterfly effect showed that the world and in fact our universe and beyond is deeply interconnected. The 100 monkey effect was observed when a study was done on a troop of Japanese monkeys on the island of Kojima. This happened in the year of 1952 and observations continued into 1958. It started with one group of monkeys learning to wash potatoes before eating. The behavior was passed down and learned among the group. But strangely, something unexplainable did occur. The scientists observed that the patterns of washing potato before eating spread across the waters to monkeys on nearby islands without any contact between the troops. It was observed that when a critical number was reached, there was initiation of new awareness which could be transmitted through mental consciousness even across vast distances. It showed that when a certain critical number achieves an awareness, this may be communicated from mind to mind. This obviously somehow also correlates to the fact that we are interconnected on a level where we might not see but clearly is. Quantum entanglement is a complex phenomenon in physics that describes an invisible link between distant quantum objects that allow one to instantly affect the other beyond the speed of light. It defies conventional physics where deterministic results prevail. Albert Einstein famously dismissed this idea of quantum entanglement as spooky action at a distance. Entanglement is seen in particles across vast distances, even millions of light years apart, seemingly within a matrix across space and time with no way of physical connection. Even though Einstein famously quoted before that God does not play dice with the universe. It may seem odd that in chaos theory, there was an apparent randomness of chaotic complex systems. There are underlying patterns, interconnection, constant feedback loops, repetition, self-similarity, fractals, and self-organization. Chaos may not be chaos but order after all. Interestingly, the term of the tipping point came about when Malcolm Gladwell first published his book called The Tipping Point: How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference. He defines a tipping point as the moment of critical mass, the threshold, the boiling point. As he states in The Law of the Field, certain people are especially effective at spreading an infectious idea, product, or behavior. The success of any kind of social epidemic is heavily dependent on the involvement of people with a particular and rare set of social gifts. According to Gladwell, economists call this the 80-20 principle, which is the idea that in any situation, roughly 80% of the work will be done by 20% of the participants. With all this being said, the connection with butterfly effects, 100 monkey effect, and quantum entanglement is clear and undeniable that we are connected by an invisible link beyond our normal perception of how everything appears to us. Without the matrix, which is actually an invisible web that connects all of us together, these phenomenons could never have been explained or understood with our limited understanding of what the world is to us. In other words, there was so much more than what conventional science or what we were taught to believe in as real. So, what we do here actually affects someone or something out there. So, with the understanding of the tipping point, why don't we start sharing what we learn to effect a big change out there, right? Let us be the 20% to spread wisdom and love by making a ripple into the cosmos for humanity. Let us be more conscious of our thoughts, words, and actions. We can build with conscious goodwill, or we can destroy through negativity and ignorance. Everything is a choice. Let us choose to think the right thoughts, set the right intentions, and do the right actions.